This is Dr. Troy Fullerton with Bilingual Barrier Busters with a little hint tonight about Spanish grammar, specifically about telling the difference between the preterite and the imperfect tense. Now, if you are a student of Spanish whose first language is English, you probably struggled with the two past tenses in Spanish. You probably struggled with when do I say something using the imperfect tense and when do I say something using the preterite tense. Now, for the sake of this video, I'm not going to get into how to conjugate verbs in the perfect or the preterite tense tonight. That's something you can learn separately. But the biggest problem isn't learning how to conjugate those verbs. The biggest problem is learning when do you use one and when do you use the other. Now, we can give you a whole list of rules and a whole list of circumstances. It basically comes down to this. This is something I've realized. People who speak Spanish aren't thinking of a list of, well, let me see, is this kind of an action? Is this that kind of an action? No, they're not doing that. What they do instead is they're thinking, how does this feel when they're speaking? Something that has worked very well for me is this. If you can clearly see something, a past event in your mind's eye, it's preterite. If it's blurry, it's imperfect. Let me give you an example. Let's say that I tell you, I went to that church last Sunday. Well, that's going to be preterite. Yo fui a esa iglesia el domingo pasado. Why? Because I can tell you what clothes I had on. If I have good enough of a memory, I can tell you what was preached, what songs were sung. But what if I said, I went to that church when I was a kid? Well, if I'm talking about something that I did more than a time or two, then everything's blurry because I wore different clothes at different times. They preached different things at different times. They sang different songs at different times. I can't tell you because I'm not talking about something that happened. I'm talking about something that used to go on. That is the biggest clue. That is the biggest clue for whether something should be preterite or imperfect. Keep in mind that we're going to use the imperfect tense when we talk about what was going on in the past. So that might be what time it was, what day it was, clothes people had on, how people were feeling. All of this is going to be in the imperfect tense. The weather is going to be in the imperfect tense. Any of the surrounding details are going to be in the imperfect tense when I describe something in the past.